Whether to be vulnerable,
Sam, you can't see us.
funny.
You literally cannot see us. We are not here.
What?
Or you might not be able to hear me. But we are here in the movie. We made it on time. And I have a pickle that you also can't see.
Oh, I see.
That's a good pickle. So a new development of the TV line is that now the bottom half of the TV now glitches for like a solid 5 or 6 minutes, and then eventually the line will go away. Love that for me. But also, Lindsay and Fiona played The Sims 4 hype. So update on the hair thing. She's gone. We were talking in the group chat about how we were both, well, me and Sam specifically. Emily was also saying how her hair is falling out, big mood. How we were both hashtag done by toothbrush. Hashtag done with our hair. So my hair is gone. I decided to do something about it. I was like, bitch, gone. Bitch, girl. Wait, how does this go? What's up, Beyonce quote? I feel like a poser. Tell him, boy, bye. But me with my hair. They've released for Best Buy. Best Buy released Black Friday deals early. So I was looking just to be like, what do I want to do on Black Friday? And I saw that TVs were on sale. So I was like, lit. Let me hit up the TVs. So I ended up going to Best Buy and buying a TV the day before Disney Plus. A coincidence? I think not. It's like they knew. They were like, bitches want new TVs for Disney Plus, and they were right. So this is the box for the TV. It was only $230. We love a deal. It's 43 inches. It's Samsung, and it plays 4K video. And my other TV did not play 4K video, so we love that for me. I said it played 4K video. Look how high def Trevor's face is. Like, I just was like, let me put something on. And man, could I already tell the difference. Oh my god. Y'all, Sean Spicy is in the bottom too, which means they're sending him packing. Bye, Spicy. God, this is truly what dreams are made of. Hey now, hey now. Look at Sean. Sean knows. Thank God. The evil has been defeated, y'all. Never mind, y'all. I know what I'm binge watching for the rest of my life. God, it's the other iconic ice skating movie. An update for Emily. It is indeed snowing. So y'all, today has been a day. It is Wednesday, and it started off with my mom coming downstairs and telling me that I got a letter in the mail from that bitch that I got into an accident with, being like, we want your money. And we've collectively decided that we're going to ignore the letter of her wanting my money, because technically she's supposed to go through the town, because technically the insurance is through the town of the car, because it's a town vehicle. It's not my personal vehicle. So even if she wanted to sue me, she literally couldn't, because I'm not the one who owns the car. You'd have to sue the car that hit you, and I don't own that car. So, and then we got to dinner, and then we're going to Costco because we're gonna go get food. And Alan, like a fool, I don't even want to say, like, he hits the person in front of him, but like, okay, for context for Emily, we were going out of the side road where the trailer parks is, next to like the Home Depot, where then you go into the turning lane to then merge onto 58. Sam, I realize this means nothing to you, but like to set the picture. And so that there's a person and there's a designated right turning lane that curbs into 58. So there was a guy in a truck in front of us, and Alan was like looking to the left, like to see when traffic was going to stop. It just did not stop rolling forward. It just hit the guy. And I'm like, Alan, you fool. So we ended up following. So Alan and the guy got out of the car. They looked at the car for a couple seconds, got back in the car, then ended up going across the street from the Panera into the Harley Davidson at Emily parking lot. And then they got out of the car and talked again, and then decided that no one switched information because no one's cars really got damaged because, well, once again, that's literally how slow Alan was going. He must have been going like 2 miles an hour. So then that happens, and then we go to Costco, and then while we're shopping for Costco, the fire alarm goes off, and I was like, "Fucking kill me, y'all!" Mercury is out for Zoana blood today. And then it's funny because I told them, I was like, "Oh yeah, Mercury's in retrograde, and when Mercury's in retrograde, like all the shit in your life just goes bad." And Alan and Faye are like, "Oh my god, we can't leave the house anymore." And I'm like, big mood at Faye and Alan. I've never seen them so committed to the paranormal and to like the celestial aligning, whatever you want to call it, the astrological signs, whatever. And I was like, mood, but I support it because I'm also like, we can never leave the house again. So that's how my day went. And now I'm just like, green tea, then bed. So yeah, ma. So it's Thursday, and my vlog goes up tomorrow, so I thought I would talk about what I've been watching on Disney Plus. And if I'm gonna be real honest, I realize Disney Plus at this point has only been out for like 2 days, but I'm shocked on how not a lot I've watched so far. The first thing I did watch was The Mandalorian episode 1, specifically, because I think that's because they're putting all the shows out one episode at a time, so there was physically only one episode out. And I was like, okay, I'll start with The Mandalorian, which, I don't know if you knew, it's like that bounty hunter Star Wars show. And I watched this on Tuesday, so now I have to sit here and try to remember what happened in it without giving spoilers. So I'm gonna say it started off very like fast. They were like no context, we're just here. And they kind of, the first team paid homage to the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope. The first one, that's really the fourth one now, you know, whatever. The first Star Wars movie to ever physically come out, they paid homage to that movie in the first scene of the show. And I liked that. The episode was roughly like 45 minutes long, so like the average length of an episode for most shows, and I thought it was good. I would rate it, I'm just going to rate it right away and then explain why am I rating. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5, and the half I've decided, I have not done halves in the past, but the half is going to be a fish. So you're going to see 4 whales and then a fish. Which fish, I haven't decided, but that'll be fun for me during editing. So yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, because I thought the show was beautiful, it was paced well. And to be honest, I didn't really know how I was feeling about the show. I was like, do I like this? Do I not like this? I didn't really know. Mostly because not a lot really happened. It was a lot of like setup. The ending I thought was really cool because there was like a semi kind of fight scene. And then they kind of introduced something at the end where I was like, oh my god, is this person? And to be honest, it's probably not that person because we're the timeline. I'm pretty sure that this takes place post episode 6, so like after the Empire falls, and so I'm pretty sure this character is already like a person, or already a person that wouldn't be this other thing that they introduced later. I know none of this makes sense, but like once you watch it, you'll understand. But it looks a lot like this other thing, so watch out for that. The second thing I watched on Disney Plus was High School Musical, the series, which also only had one episode out, and to be honest, it was a lot more iconic than I thought it was going to be. When I remember watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is like they did this thing that The Good Place does, where it's just a bunch of random like millennial like pop culture one-liners that are just iconic, and I'm like, wow, this is iconic. And they like, I don't know how much you know about the show either, or if you watch the trailer, but essentially it's kind of just like, it's not like in the High School Musical like world, so it's not like they're like, oh, now it's like the next generation of the High School Musical people. Like it kind of is, but not really, because it's like based off of like they're like, wow, I can't believe the school that was where High School Musical was created never did a musical for High School Musical, and then that's kind of what the show is about. And what I liked about it is that I'm pretty sure, if not everyone, almost every actor in that show has never been in like anything else. Like this is like kind of like their first big acting gig, and I like that because I like to see the new generation of people act. And except for like, I don't know if you remember, but I'm blanking on his name. I think his name was Ernie. Ernie from from George Lopez, who was George Lopez's best friend. He is the principal in this show. And that's, I think, the biggest name actor they have in here. The drama teacher is iconic. I love her. She reminds me of, what's his name? What's his name? I hate him so much, I don't remember his name. The drama teacher from Glee, him, picture here. His ex-wife, she reminds me a lot of her. And, like, the way that she talks and the way that she acts and the way that she, like, says things. And there were just so many, like, iconic one-liners. It was iconic. I'd give this episode a 5 out of 5. It was everything I wanted to be. It had plot. It had music. It had vocals. It had acting. It had everything you could want. You see Zac Efron. You see, like, old people. They reference old shit. Love it. Iconic. Can't wait for episode 2. Wish I already had it now. Third thing I watched was the Lady and the Tramp live-action movie with my fam. I waited to watch that because I was like, when I got it, I knew I wanted to get through a lot of the new stuff, like, immediately. So I was like, I feel like Faye and Alan would want to watch this. So we watched it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was, to be honest, I don't remember a lot about the original movie, but I do know that the iconic the iconic spaghetti scene is still there, so that's great. I don't know how much this follows the main plot of the original movie, because, like I said, I don't really remember that movie that much, but I thought it was great. Like, I loved all the voice acting. We loved Tessa Thompson. We loved Janelle Monáe. Like, an iconic cast. The manager of the movie theater where Josh worked in Drake and Josh, she was in this movie. She was also iconic. They had a cat scene. I don't remember if that's in the original, but it was a pretty cool cat scene. It was a good scene. That was specifically a good scene. I would watch that. So I'm editing the vlog in the dark, and I realized for some reason the rest of this clip just didn't happen. So I don't really remember what I said because it got cut off apparently as I was physically taping it, like filming it, so whatever. So the gist is I gave this movie a 4 out of 4. Loved it, would watch again. Recommend it, you should watch it. The fourth thing I watched on Disney Plus was the first thing I watched on Disney Plus that I've already seen, which was a movie called Go Figure, and it's a DCOM, a Disney Channel original movie, and it's about this girl who's a figure skater, and she gets scouted by this Russian coach who, like, makes Olympians and shit, and she works at this boarding school where like, it costs a fuck ton of money to go there, but the only way that she could afford to go to this boarding school is if she got a full ride scholarship through the hockey team, so she also had to be on the girls' hockey team while she was also figure skating. And it was just about that, about how she was like, fuck hockey, I hate hockey, to then appreciating hockey. And to be honest, my one gripe with this movie is that there's definitely more hockey content than there is figure skating content, but I'll let that pass because this movie is so 2000s, it's so iconic. The outfits, the music, the lingo, their hairstyles, you watch. It's a great film. I recommend it immensely. But I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because there is some cringiness to it. I will say that. As expected from a DCOM from, like, the 2000s or late 90s. I don't remember when this came out. But the hot evil guy from, what's the name of that movie? Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the blonde one, he is in this movie, and I forgot, and he looks young, but I love the movie anyways. I'm like, we ship, iconic, we stan. The last thing I watched on Disney Plus was The Imagineering Story, episode 1, which is that docuseries that they're making that I had no idea that was gonna exist, which it just kind of, like, goes behind the scenes of how they created Disneyland, and I guess Disney World, like, I guess how they created the entire Disney property. It started mostly, I think it's literally focusing on the parks, though. Like, it literally started with them being like, Walt wants to build a theme park, and that's kind of just, like, how it went from there. And the first episode is an hour long. It's a commitment, but I feel like it's a worth it commitment, because they really throw in a lot of shit in there for you. A lot of it I knew, like, none of it, I'm not going to say none of it. A lot of it, I'm going to say, was not surprising. I forgot that Walt had lung cancer, but I mean, that makes sense. He did smoke. And I remember seeing a tweet the other day where it was like, all the pictures of Walt Disney, he always had like the two, like the whole 2-finger thing was because Walt always had 2 fingers, like just up in pictures because they had to like CGI out the cigarette in his hand. So it was just him like this, because like their cigarette used to be here and then it wasn't. So then that's how they created the 2-point, like, which I thought was funny based on that tweet. Not a spoiler for a show, they didn't talk about that in the show. But it's actually really funny. My favorite thing, except for the fact that I felt so magical while watching this, is that I loved how, I think it was like a week ago, Achievement Hunter put out a Fibbage video. And in the Fibbage video, they talked about, one of the things was like, it's like, what secret thing is hidden in the Matterhorn in Disneyland? And it was a basketball court. And when they got to the Matterhorn section of this video, because they were talking about building the Matterhorn, because I think the Matterhorn was like the first like official like roller coaster in Disneyland, I'm pretty sure, or at least one of them. And I remember being like, but what about the basketball court when they were talking about building it? And then the guy who created the Matterhorn instantly was like, the basketball court. I was like, iconic. I was like, oh my God, amazing. But yeah, so I recommend that heavily, especially for Sam, because they talk about a lot of things that Sam likes specifically in this episode. Emily, you would love it too, but I was thinking of Sam a lot when they talked about a lot of shit. I would give this episode a 5 out of 5 because it was so iconic. I loved it. It's my entire brand. And the second episode actually drops tomorrow. So hype for that. The day this vlog goes up, I will be watching episode 2 and we'll review that for next week's vlog. I haven't decided if I'm going to review literally everything I watch on Disney+. Even, like, if I watch Mulan, that will get a review if I decide to commit to this. I've been writing down, like, a list in notes of, like, what I watch and, like, what I rate them. But to be honest, I don't write any notes on it. So, like, there's a lot of things that I probably missed to tell you. Like, for example, I forgot to tell you that in The Mandalorian, the only actor I know is the Mandalorian himself. And we never see his face because he's always wearing the mask. So, or the helmet, whatever you want to call it. So that's iconic, and so far, he's the only one I know. I don't know if they introduce other characters, I might know more people, but he's the only one I know. I don't remember his name, I think his name is Pascal. I'm pretty sure, in real life. And he's the guy in Game of Thrones who got his head bashed in by the Mountain. He was the bisexual. He was the one from Dorne who was revenging his sister's death. And then, I remember he fought for Tyrion when Tyrion was on trial. And then he got his head bashed in. So, yeah, sucks for him.